Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews. In my hands is the Honor Mgic V3. Probably the most incredible phone that I've ever used. Stick around. Welcome back to Oli the Goalie Tech Reviews. And yes, today I wanted to do a quick video on my Honor Mgic V3 foldable phone. This is the 12 gig, 512 gigabyte version in the black color, which you can see here, which by the way looks really incredible, and it is very nice feeling, feels very high end. It is a tiny bit slippery, I'm not going to lie, so that's something that you need to consider, but not a huge deal overall. I wasn't going to do an unboxing. Everybody's seen the unboxing. We all know that it comes with a case that has the hinge protection on it, as well as the built-in stand, which allows you to have the phone sit up like that, or if you're watching it in the portrait mode or vertical mode, you can use it either way. So everybody knows about that. No real big deal. I went ahead and ordered a new carbon fiber case from AliExpress because I wanted something a little thinner than this particular one. And to be honest, I actually didn't like having that covered. I don't like it. Actually, it takes up too much space, makes it too big. I like it to be as slim as possible. This thing is incredibly slim, and I don't want to hide it behind a hinge protection. So when I got this screen, or this case, pardon me, from AliExpress, it is super thin, barely adds any thickness, but it does cover the camera island, which is nice. So when you put the phone down, it's not going directly onto the glass of the camera. It sits on that protective case. So very nice. So why is this phone so incredible? Well, first of all, it is an absolute technical freak of nature, if that makes any sense. Technical nature? Not really. Nonetheless, it is the thinnest thing that I have ever seen. If you were watching my videos a couple of years ago, you would have noted and seen the video that I did on the Microsoft Surface Duo. I absolutely loved and still love this phone. I still believe that it has the best hinge on the market to date. There isn't anything that's better. The way this thing opens and closes and feels is just fantastic, but it's not about this today. But what it is about is when I got this phone, I thought to myself, I don't think I will ever see a phone thinner than this Surface Duo, at least a foldable phone, that is. You know, you look at the where the USB-C is, and it is literally maybe like a half a millimeter on either side of that USB. Otherwise, it's pretty much just the USB slot. There's really no frame around it. So I just thought, it's impossible. This is never going to be made thinner. Well, surprise, surprise, right? Here we have the Mgic Mgic V3 Fold. And guess what? It's actually thinner than the Surface Duo. So when I actually remove this screen, we'll take a look at it. The Mgic V3 is incredibly thin. You cannot watch, if you've not held this phone in your hands and you've seen all these videos, you can't understand or appreciate how incredibly thin this phone is. It is insanely thin. As a matter of fact, I've actually removed the case because I wanted to do the comparison. If you look at these two phones in comparison, the Mgic V3 is actually thinner than the Surface Duo. And I never thought ever that I would see a phone that is actually thinner than the Microsoft Surface Duo. So unbelievable job by Honor to create something that is this incredibly thin. Now, it's one thing to create a phone that's incredibly thin compared to other phones on the market. And let's face it, the Z Fold 6, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, honestly, none of them have come close. Now, to be fair, I've not held the 9 Pro Fold Pixel, but I have owned the Z Fold 6. In fact, I sold it to buy this phone. And they are not even close. I mean, they literally feel like 2 or 3 generations previous when you're comparing it to this Surface Duo. So yeah, let's get this out of the way. Bring this back. When you're looking at this phone and you're looking at that thickness, right? I think it's what, 9.9 millimeters or something, 9.8 or something ridiculous like that, maybe even less, 9.3, I'm not really sure. And then you compare it in a sense to when it's opened and the thinness. Again, we talked about that Surface Duo and the USB-C. Look at that. I don't even think there's a 0.5 millimeter on either side of that USB-C when it comes to the actual thickness of this phone. So the reality is right now, I think this is still technically the world's thinnest phone. And even if it isn't, I don't know that I'd ever want to see a phone get any thinner than this, to be quite honest. It's so thin that, again, I mean, you almost wouldn't be able to have any kind of input like a USB-C. It would almost have to be wireless because it's already so thin. You start going any thinner than that, then I'm going to start to be worrying about, you know, the sort of how is this going to hold up in a sense of, you know, just the build quality. Right now, no concerns. I think that this feels very solid. I don't think there's any issues in that sense. So it's pretty incredible. So when you just think of the build itself, the physical build of this phone, the way that it opens and closes, everything about it is incredible. Again, I have owned so many phones, right from the Samsung Z Fold 2, 3, 4, didn't have the 5, but had the 6. The S22, 23, haven't gotten the 24 yet. It won't be. I mean, you know, literally hundreds of phones all the way back into the early 80s when, you know, smartphones weren't as smart as they are today. And without a doubt, from a technological standpoint, the way this thing is put together, it literally is incredible. When you look at the thickness of that hinge compared to like the Z Fold or even the Pixel 9 for that matter, it's so incredibly thin. It's unbelievable. And again, most importantly, even though this phone is as thin as it is, it's so well built that I do not fear whatsoever of using it without a case, even for that matter. And as a matter of fact, I did notice that I thought I had cracked the screen. So I was trying to lift I got a little message here. The protector to just see if it was cracked, but as it turns out it wasn't. And I kind of created a bubble there. So I'm going to do this right now for everyone to see. And that is, I'm taking that off. Ooh. Wow. Let's see. Oh, man. Oh, baby. That feels amazing. You know when you have a little screen protector on here, unless it's the tempered glass ones, the plastic ones, you always have that edge that catches, and it feels really horrible as it catches your finger every time you run across it. Well, of course, I don't have that anymore. And wow, what a feeling. That is pretty amazing without having that screen protector. So again, going back to just the build quality, no concerns whatsoever. The buttons, the volume up and down buttons are solid. There's no real concern with when you're pressing those buttons. Same with the power button. Again, if we look at the top, we have the speaker grill. We also have the infrared as well as a microphone jack. Again, you guys have seen this on every other video. Just to go over it, USB-C, more speaker jack, and then of course the volume or the power button, sorry, which doubles as the fingerprint, and then your island for the cameras. Again, even the cameras, I've noticed that they're pretty darn good. To be honest, from the idea of just using to take family pictures as you stroll along the park or do the things you need to do, it works fine. I've actually even shot a YouTube video with it, and it worked out to be good even in the lower light. I mean, it could have been better, but it was still pretty good. So the cameras themselves, I cannot say anything bad about them. They give me everything that I need to sort of have in a sense of how they work. So I'm happy with those as well. The software. So now, just to be clear, I've had this phone for just about a month now. And I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever with the software. This is obviously the global version of the V3. So all the software is designed, to work obviously in North America or here in Canada. No problems with network coverage. Even though the coverage in my area where I live is absolutely horrible, I still am getting over half bars with the LTE on my phone. So something as simple as just the LTE network with the global version works great. Software itself, though, no issues whatsoever. I've had 3 updates since I got the phone. There was an update when I first got it. There was an update about maybe 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. And then I just got an update today also, which has given the Google Circle to search to the Honor V3 now. So now you have that circle to search. So in the sense of the software, everything that is running on this phone, there are no issues whatsoever. The only thing so far that I've noticed, and this is not an Honor thing, I think this is just a implementation of this feature into new phones thing. With my Blue Link for my Santa Fe, this phone will not work as the digital key. Right now, I believe I think it's only Apple, maybe Apple, Samsung, and maybe Pixel, but I'm not 100% sure. So that would be the only one thing that if I would say I was disappointed with, would be that. But that's not the fault of the phone. It's the fault of the software and what they've implemented in a sense of which ones will work and which ones won't. But other than that, again, going back to things like multitasking, all the things that the Z Fold does, this does as well. Ironically, I don't have the pen, but it does work with their pen. I haven't actually tried it with any other pens just to see if it did work, but it certainly is something that I could give it a shot. Whoops.
All right, guys.
Let's
back to the video. Didn't think I would make a video.
got Jay going on there. Let's get rid of that. I don't know that it would work, but it's not a huge thing for me. I know there's a lot of people out there that are reviewing this phone that really love that S Pen or the pen. And of course, that's why they stick with Samsung, because they love the pen so much. I personally hardly ever use it. So it's not a huge deal to me. So software is, again, also not an issue here whatsoever. All the things like Google Pay, Android Auto, all the banking apps, all that stuff, of course, because again, it's a global version, you have no issues. My new Santa Fe has wireless Android Auto. So for the first time, my old Kia Sorento I had to use the Android Auto adapter little dongle, which worked okay, but sometimes it didn't connect. Sometimes it stayed connected. It was kind of a bit of a pain. You had to always unplug it. With this phone and the Santa Fe, it is wireless Android Auto. So it's I sit down in my car, boom, it's already connected, and it starts playing, whether it's YouTube Music. Sometimes I'll use Sirius, all those things. Again, no issues with those things running whatsoever. So when we talk about software, again, no issues. Fantastic for using in Canada, but certainly North America and globally. So software is incredible. The implementation is fantastic. I love the fact that like those other systems out there, you do have the ability to let's make sure you can actually see this, to be able to pull it up. And for example, if I wanted to do YouTube, right, I then have my YouTube screen as well as my controls on the bottom, similar to if I am looking at my camera. You get your camera there with your, your photo album at the bottom, which you can scroll through if you want. So, all that implementation that Samsung does, Honor has also done it in a very good way. So really, really impressed again with the software. So when we talk about this phone, in my first month's user experience, hardware is it is unbelievable. Every time that I open this phone up, whether it's with a client or a friend or somebody just in public that sees this thing, they can't actually believe that this is an actual phone, first of all, but more importantly, one that you don't have to fear using because it's so delicate and it feels like it's going to break and that kind of thing, because this thing has none of that whatsoever. When it's folded, it's thinner than this Microsoft Surface Duo. It's actually, I have my phone downstairs in my home theater room. I was going to show you the S22. It's substantially thinner than the S22 with its case on, by the way. And it is, it literally is an incredible piece. I mean, you just sit there and look at this thing. You can stare at it all day and think, how on earth do they do? Oh, I didn't even touch on this. The battery. So, you talk about the Samsung Z6, and I think it's 4,400 milliampere battery, somewhere around there. This one is 5150, I believe, which I think was also a Van Halen album title, maybe. It is, without question, spectacular for the most part when I'm done the day. And admittedly, I don't use my phone heavy. I'm not a heavy user. I usually do it in most of my work's in my office. So I usually use my landline at work. But I do use this on a fair bit. And for the most part, I'm finishing the day usually around 40 to 50%. And that's pretty incredible. I'm watching a couple of videos. I'm sending some emails. I'm doing a few things here and there. Absolutely no issues. But what's really cool is watching this thing recharge. At 67 watts, I believe the charger that came with it is. It's 65 watts wired charging, 50 watts wireless charging. So when plugging it in hardwired, you watch this thing charge. It's incredible. It just flies. It's pretty cool to watch. The wireless charger, I have yet to find a wireless charger that will give me the full capacity. I just ordered a Xiaomi 50-watt wireless charger kit with the 67, I think, watt adapter. And I just got that yesterday. Unfortunately, the hardwire charges it at that super fast rate, but the wireless still doesn't do it. It says like 2 hours to charge or something like that. So I guess at the end of the day, in order to take advantage of the full wireless charging capabilities, you need to have an actual Honor wireless charger. So I'll likely end up ordering that off of AliExpress at some point. But the charging, even just wired, I'll come home and if I'm going to go for a walk or something like that, and I'm at 60% or 58% or 40%, plug it in. I'll go brush my teeth. Get changed, get ready to go to work, and then before you know it, it's charged again, fully charged. So even the way this thing charges is incredible. Let's face it. Is it the 9, the Google 9, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is like 12 watts and 7 watts wireless or something like that. The Samsung Z Fold 6, I think, is like, 40 watts fast charge, or 40 watts wired, maybe 25 watts wireless. This thing is 65 watts wired, 50 watts wireless. So, it embarrasses the other leading, phones. So I got to tell you, overall, this phone, without question, so after my first month of using this phone, this incredibly ridiculously thin phone. That is again, as I said, it's a freak of technological, nature, I guess. It's unbelievable how well this phone works. It's unbelievable how it feels in your hand. It's unbelievable how light it is. Everything about it is incredible. Even with the case on it. It barely adds any thickness. It still is very light and feels nice in the hands with this Aramic, I think they call it carbon fiber, whatever case. So for my first month of usage, I'm going to give this phone probably a 9.1 out of 10. And again, really the only reason it's getting less than that is the fact that I can't use the phone as my key for my car. Other than that, I literally have no faults that I've found on this phone. I guess I could say once in a while, it kind of lags a little bit, but only for a half a second, and then you close that app, restart it, and everything's fine again. So really, no bad things at all whatsoever to say about the phone. The camera could be a little bit better, but again, it's not bad, so I'm not giving it a negative for that. Everything about it is great. Would I recommend this phone to anybody, especially if you can get it on sale and brought into Canada or wherever you may be? 100%. It's a fantastic phone to use. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. And I don't know that I could go back to any other phone at this point after using this phone. You know, it's actually, I think, even up until today, when I say today, more recently, the Surface Duo has been my absolute favorite phone, right? This phone has replaced that. And again, it's because of how incredibly thin and light and easy it is to use. So yeah, if you're looking for a new phone, you can't go wrong with this. I mean, just look at the way this thing opens up and you know how it looks. The screen is fantastic. It looks incredible. When you're looking at pictures, for example, on here, you know, the images are amazing. They really pop. I mean, it's an incredibly sharp screen. It does have HDR10 Plus, I believe, as well as Dolby Vision. So all the features that come with the newer screens, that's on this phone. So you can't go wrong. That's it for today, guys. I just wanted to let you know how much I love this phone and how excited I am about it after a month. If you like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. Really appreciate the help there. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications. I am going to be doing a few more videos on some JM Go products that I have coming out as well. Can't wait to put those out. And yeah, thanks for watching. Again, I'm so lucky that all of you tune in, and I'm grateful. Thanks again. Take care. Have a great day.